The early days of Hero Factory are charming and wonderful. And a legacy character like William Furno? Well, he's just awesome. Let's examine this excellent set. Let's examine his pieces. And let's take a look at a revamp of this character. We're gonna celebrate the brilliant set that is Ferno 1.0. This is William Furno, the one set that referred to him as William, and then every other set after that said, that's stupid, let's drop that. I mean, you gotta love the red guy. The red guy is always the standout character from the wave. He's always the one that's right there in all the promotional material. He's the cool one. And Furno is certainly pretty cool. One of the biggest selling points for me was his weapon. Glowing orange flames emanating out of this silver handle. It looks so cool. But what's even better is that yes, he can hold them with one hand. That's great. Or he can dual wield them. And that just looks so awesome. And I guess, if you want, you can put both of them on the one hand, rotate them, and he's got himself a bit of a funky looking blade. Or perhaps this is some sort of shield. I love it when LEGO gets creative with the weapons, the gear, and the accessories. This would have been fine if it was just one weapon that only did this, nothing else. But no, the fact that you can kind of get a bit creative with this and personalize it a little bit more to fit the character, that's wonderful. And heck, when you look at the arms, there's a few additional connection points. So maybe you can slap the weapon on there and give him even more customization opportunities. Perhaps this is some sort of like jet booster that helps him fly around. Or they're gliding wings, just to make him a little bit more airborne. Whatever it is, this is great. Speaking of jet propulsion and flying, something I like about all of the 1.0 heroes are the feet. When you look at the back, there's these details that are molded into the piece. They look a bit like tiny jet boosters. Now Furno can be like Star-Lord and he can fly around with boosters on his shoes. That's pretty cool. It's a little detail that they didn't need to put into that piece, but I'm glad they did. It just ignites your imagination, doesn't it? And look, mate, it's 2026 and I still love this leg shin armor piece. It just looks cool. The energy that it's got, the way that it flares out at the bottom, the fact that there's a gap in the middle that lets the leg just jut out ever so slightly. Wow. I remember back in 2010 when this piece first debuted and hit store shelves, people went crazy. Every single MOC under the sun used this piece. People loved it. And I get it. It's brilliant. The only real, downside to Furno is probably his back. There's no armor here whatsoever. It looks a bit bare and empty. Slapping on a red piece of armor back here might look a little bit nicer. But this is a problem that every hero has, Furno's not alone in this. And some characters it looks a little better than others. Speaking of which, you have the same issue of no knees and no elbows. But despite that limitation, the set can still pose pretty well. So I don't know, that should bother me a bit more, but it kind of doesn't. He still looks good. And it's also refreshing to see Keat Orange and red as his color scheme. Many other fire-themed characters or red guys, they would come with orange and red, or silver and red. This is a new color combination we really hadn't seen before. And hot dang, it looks so good. Furno is just one of those legacy characters that always hits the mark. What a great toy. But the main shebang, the real highlight of this set, the pieces. For example, those epic shin armor elements. Yeah, you slap them on the leg of any MOC and it's gonna look pretty dope. But why not do what Obsessionist Seth has done here and use it as the horn of a beetle? Oh, that's cool. Even the textures on this piece do feel very bug-like. This is the definition of a nice part use. It looks so good. Over to Furno's mask. It looks good from the front, sure, but when you flip it around, it still kind of looks like a face. These sections here look like eyes. That's neat. Any mask that can be double-sided like this is a good mask. And BioRays takes advantage of this, and he actually adds a jaw underneath it. The overall result of this fully fleshed out head is marvelous. I like too that this little bottom bit right here kind of looks like a tooth. It sort of sells this open mouth aesthetic just a little bit more. Cute. What about the face that rests underneath this helmet? Well, Artie Quill has linked a few of these together with ball joints. The end result is a nice, posable, beautiful looking torso. The repetition of these pieces perfectly matches the repetition of the arms. There's just some nice consistency within these designs. Plus, hey, this torso would have a little bit of waist articulation, and that's a good thing. This is rad. Moving on over to Furno's blades. Remember, by the way, these do come in a different color on a set called Jawblade. The more solid red is quite nice. So hey, why not mix these pieces together, get a bunch of them, and turn them into wings? Bart has done that here, and hot dang, it looks stunning. Getting swords and weapons in any shape, size, or color is always going to be a surefire way to make a really good wing design. Something to think about. Furno's torso is up next, and yeah, if you take out that hero core and you slap it on a bigger mock, like this, you really got something. It's nice to know that even though this piece was designed to fit on smaller characters, it still fits right in on something much, much bigger. And yeah, you shove a couple extra pieces into the gap where the hero core is meant to be, and it still looks pretty good. And finally, the feet. Old mate Todd places them up here on the torso. I think it looks pretty good. There's a few built-in connection points that allow you to bridge off the arms, and yeah, you got something quite nice. Turns out Furno is a good set and a good parts pack. But what would this character look like if he received a revamp, an upgrade? Let's find out. Valhalla MOCs has made Ferno Prime, a bigger upgrade that now features a flaming mohawk. Oh, that's the way to upgrade this mask. How good is that? This just adds so much extra personality. Without that mohawk, the mock would still be cool, but nowhere near as cool as it is now. This makes use of some of these trans-orange spinner pieces that appeared in various Ninjago spinners. These sets are still on store shelves, and we're getting newer ones seemingly every year, unless they retire it next year, but we'll wait and see. I highly recommend going and picking some of these up. People are using these pieces all the time, and I can't think of a single example where it hasn't looked amazing. Go grab some before it's too late. They're cheap and easy to get right now. Go give Furno a flaming mohawk. I mean, come on. The larger blades also look quite nice. They appear to just be a, sized up version of that original piece. How has this been made? Well, we got some of these tech blades from various old Ninjago sets. Quite nice. And then you couple that with Tahu Uniter's flame swords. That combination of pieces is next level. And I like too that these have a bit of functionality. They can be stored upwards so that they don't get in the way when you're doing day-to-day tasks, or they flip down so he's ready to fight. Sweet. We also have the tiniest little drop of blue. Only a little, that's all it needs, but it just pops. Even Tahu Uniter had a little bit of blue in his color scheme. Maybe there's something there. Fire characters with the smallest hint of blue. It looks nice. Well, that's the mighty Furno. An oldie, but a goodie. On your way out, don't forget to take a look at the links below. There you can find the social media of all the builders that I featured in today's episode. Leave a like on their stuff, go comment on their work, and let them know what you think of their incredible creations. And if you're feeling cheeky, leave a like on this video, do whatever you want. Thanks for watching everyone, happy building, and bye for now. Alright, why the heck do Americans hate Arby's? Whenever I've been there, it's been wonderful. Those curly fries though, why must you hate such a good thing?